Disclaimer. The views expressed in this podcast are our personal opinions and do not necessarily reflect those of our significant others, families, or employers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Friendly Fade podcast. This is episode 16 with Nubs and Reem the Dream. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn on post notifications if you're feeling generous. With that said and done, I do want to thank the viewers for, watching each and every episode. Our army isn't too big just yet, but, who's actually taking anything into account. Either way, we are going to, post these bangers on every week, regardless of how many views we get. So I just want to express my gratitude to those that do watch the videos. It does mean a lot to Kareem and I. Today, we have, a plethora of things to speak about like we often do. We're going to go into motivation, success, and a little bit of mental health. But as we often do, we are going to start in the sports world. We're going to touch a little bit on the NFL, going into the final week of the season, and then, transferring to the NBA. So, what are your thoughts on that? We're at the finish line. Time has gone by so fast, and we are 1 week away from crowning a new champion. So what you got?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, like Harry alluded to, appreciate the viewers, man. Everybody who watches on a weekly basis. Thank you for supporting us. Keep watching. Hitting us with those likes and those views. So we appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know who you are. For always being there since day one. So, and obviously also thank you for the new viewers as well. So with that being said, man, going into the NFL's last week, we are about 6 days away from the Super Bowl, 5-6 days away from the Super Bowl. And that will be a wrap for the NFL season. And then that takes us into the NBA season. And as Harry probably already knows, like I'm the type of person, I don't watch NBA until NFL is over. So for me now, I'm slowly starting to catch up on what's been going on in the NBA world. So I've been watching a couple of Heat games here and there, trying to see who's at the top on both sides, Eastern and Western Conference respectively. It's looking pretty promising, man. So I'm kind of excited. Obviously we thank God we got something to watch besides baseball. Once NFL is over, I'm not a big fan of baseball, so that's kind of why I said that. But yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know, Harry, if you've been tracking, bro. Right now, the big storylines in the NBA. Joel Embiid is out with the meniscus injury. He's going to be gone for 4 weeks. Pretty significant. Yeah, pretty significant, man. Right before the All-Star break. Typically, that's when the NBA ramps up a bit. Is right after the All-Star break. That's when these guys actually want to start playing and want to start making a mark, because that's when you start playing for seeding in the playoffs. Trying to avoid that play-in tournament, right? So yeah, so that's a big loss for them, man. And staying in the Eastern Conference, the Bucks are. It's kind of crazy because the record doesn't reflect it, but from what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing, they're not playing very well. Apparently, their defense isn't all that. Dame isn't meshing very well with the rest of the squad. There was obviously a coaching change mid-season. After going like 30-13, they fired their head coach, which doesn't make any sense to anyone. It's like, damn, you're winning and you're still like 2-3 in the Eastern Conference, and you fire your head coach. So that tells you how high their expectations are for that team, especially after training for Damian Lillard. Like, you think you'd be the top contender. Instead, they're trailing the Celtics by a few games. Because that's the team to beat in the East. Moving on to the Western Conference, surprising, Harry. Guess who's at the top? Top two teams in the Western Conference, my boy. The Minnesota Timberwolves, wow, and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Shout out to Anthony Edwards. I love that guy.
Dude, that kid is it's too soon, right? He hasn't won anything yet, but everybody's been saying that he might be the next MJ, man. Just his game translates so well to what MJ looked like at a young age. And they're like, dude, like the way the way he plays, his balance, and obviously the most important thing, his availability He does play every night for the most part, so we don't take that away from him. So yeah, and obviously OKC Thunder, young squad, man. They stuck it, they stunk it up for years. After KD departed and Westbrook and whatnot, and they just kept picking up on draft picks. I think they were sitting at one point at like 17 first-round draft picks until 2027, 2028. And they've been using those draft picks, man, to their advantage, and they were able to build a contender. It's promising for them, right? Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's up for MVP talks as well. So yeah, so just kind of like a brief overview of what's going on in the NBA, man. So what are your thoughts after everything I just told you?
No, I mean, just to kind of speak a little bit in more broader terms for me, because like I said, I haven't been able to keep up as much as possible because there's still football going on. But from what I can see, yeah, the NBA has a promising future. We have a lot of young stars, you know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of these, old school veterans that are kind of getting to their older age. I mean, on top of that is like LeBron and like KD and all those guys. But I think we can say that for the foreseeable future, the NBA is a lock in terms of entertainment and talent and whatnot. As far as the Bucks firing their coach, yeah, that absolutely made no sense to me, because although you don't want to be trailing the Celtics, it's still a little premature. And we do know what happens to those Celtics team in the playoffs. They have all the talent in the world, but they can never come up, and win all those big games. They can never finish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How I like to say. I did not know Joel Embiid got hurt, so that is, pretty substantial. And they should be grateful that it's only 4 weeks, because you said 4 weeks, and I was actually surprised. I didn't think it would be that short of a time frame. I was thinking months. So I mean, that's a blessing in itself, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because like I said, haven't been keeping up much. And as far as I know, the Heat haven't really looked as good since that trade. So it's tough. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting back in there and getting up to speed when it comes to the NBA. So it should be promising, and I can't wait, to transition over and kind of just focus on basketball, because like you said, ain't nobody trying to watch baseball. So
that's big facts, man. Nobody's really interested in baseball. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they got their fans, but I think for the most part, NFL is king in this country, in America. Once NFL season's over, everybody's kind of like, what is there to watch now? But yeah, man, kind of going back to the NBA. Like you said, it's crazy. Like, they fired their coach, halfway through the season, and not only that, it was a first year coach. They just hired the man in the offseason. They didn't even give him a full season.
Bro, come on.
So to me, it makes no sense what these organizations do. And it kind of just shows you like how Pat Riley and how he views Eric Spoelstra. Just signed him to 8-year, $260 million contract. And the Heat aren't doing too well. But you know what? Pat Riley's just one of those guys, bro. It's all about continuity. He's like, listen, Spoelstra's been there. He's done it. He's won. He's shown us that he's our guy. So why are we gonna fire him and bring somebody else in that that doesn't resonate, that Heat culture?
Completely start from scratch.
Exactly, and start from scratch, right? And which is why Miami, I think, every year, even if they suck and their record doesn't reflect it, they're still competitive. Right. At the end of the day, you don't want to see them in the playoffs, and they proved that last year. So I think Miami right now, they're just in cruise control, bro. Like, they're gonna get it together, they're gonna sneak into the playoffs somehow, and they're gonna bounce a heavy hitter, at some point, whether that's the first, second, or third round. We'll see what happens. But it's bound to happen. Trade deadline Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we're gonna keep an eye on that as well. So that's coming up. So we're gonna see a lot of moves happening. Especially for these teams trying to move that needle just a little bit further, trying to catch up with the Celtics of the world and the Nuggets of the world, because at the end of the day, the Nuggets might not be the top seed in the West, but guess what? That's the team you got to go through, because again, come playoff time, bro, that's when to me, man, that's when the NBA season starts. I think playoff time, man. Because I think a regular season, I still be snoozing. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I watch a game, because with the NBA, you get a game every day. So if you ain't got nothing to do, you ain't got nothing to watch on TV, you throw that thing on TNT, ESPN. There's gonna be a nationally televised game, right? So you can at least watch something. That's the beauty of the NBA compared to NFL. You're not waiting all week to watch a game. But yeah, man. So as always, we got LeBron in the West with the Lakers. They're always headline news. They're not doing too much this year either. They're not looking too good. And obviously, all eyes are on LeBron. Hey, so who you trading this year, my man? So right now, D'Angelo Russell, he's on chopping block. He's on the trade block. According to rumors going around the NBA. So yeah, man. So we'll see. Like you said, I'm excited. We'll see what happens. All-Star Weekend. That's when things really start kicking off. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Yeah, and I understand your whole situation with some of the NBA games kind of making you go to sleep, because the thing is, it's like it is a beauty that there is a game every single night and whatnot, but it's also kind of like a sharp-edged stone to where like all these games don't mean anything. There's so many games that it's like it comparing it to the NFL where each and every week matters. You know what I'm saying?
Matters. Yeah, it matters.
So it makes sense. But the 82 games in the NBA is a little bit much for me to kind of keep up with on a nightly basis. But like you said, it gets to a point during the year where you're looking for something to watch, so you could tune in to any any TV station like the ESPNs of the world and whatnot, and find a nationally televised game. So I mean, I'm extremely grateful for that. But we just want to see what happens in the playoffs for the most part, because that's when things get chippy. That's when we do realize who are those contenders and who are the pretenders. You know what I mean? Regardless of what happened in the regular season. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're coming up to, you said, the All-Star break, right?
Yep, All-Star break's coming up.
Needed here, not too long from now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. So we got, again, as we spoke about a little bit about last week, we got the Niners and Chiefs, and it's crazy because the line keeps moving a bit. So the Chiefs are underdogs, which is wild to me that they're even underdogs. I think Vegas is playing the trick on us, man. I don't know. I'm sus. I'm a little sus right now when it comes to these odds. Because they got the Chiefs as underdogs, but everybody's betting the Chiefs because I think most people are like, bro, I'm betting on Mahomes. Like, I'm not dumb. So it's like, but at the end of the day, house always wins, bro.
Right. So that's kind of sus. Do you think if everybody's placing all those bets on the Chiefs that they're gonna allow that shit to happen?
Yeah. Or are we in for the okie doke? Like, bro, are we bound for? It wouldn't even be an upset because they're underdogs, so if they lose, they're it's expected. But everybody's eyes, it's like, damn, if they lose out, that would be an upset, right? Exactly. And that's gonna just prove to us that the house always wins. So keep in mind what I'm telling you right now, bro. If Niners win, I think in large part it has to do with everybody betting on the Chiefs. I think there's a report that came out this morning. I think there's about $25 billion wagered right now for the game.
God,
25 bill. 25 bill, and majority of that is on the Chiefs, obviously. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to say the least, my boy. I think it's gonna come down to the wire. But
bro.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And I even said it last week. I'm like, I'm not betting against Mahomes anymore. If I'm betting, I'm betting on that man. Right. So yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, man. What are your thoughts on that?
You know me, man. I'm right there with you. I can't put my money on the 49ers regardless of, their success this year. Am I going to be surprised if they win? Not so much, but I'm putting my money on Mahomes. He's shown time and time again that he can get the job done, and why would you put your money against that? That's kind of counterproductive if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, as long as he's healthy, or that whole team, the whole squad stays healthy, barring any injuries, I think there's no way you stop Mahomes, bro. Like, right. I just don't see it, especially how I saw the Niners defense played the last two games at home.
Not so hot.
It's tough to think that they're going to be able to stop this man at all. So yeah. But I'm excited to see, man. And obviously, something to talk about next week. So, stay tuned. We're definitely going to be some breaking down the game, and we're gonna discuss, pretty much play by play and on everything that happened. So it's going to be a good one, man. Speaking of, what are you doing for Super Bowl, man? What you got planned?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to, get back with you on that one because I haven't really spoke to my girl in terms of that. I know we're probably not gonna stay here. We didn't stay here for the title games a couple weeks ago, so I doubt we're gonna stay here. We will end up going somewhere, and whether if it's with her family at all or whatnot. But we ain't staying at the crib for that. Just know that.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, it's Super Bowl. It's a big game, bro. You got to get together. You got to get some food, get some couple drinks in for sure. I'm actually debating taking the Monday off, man. Just because my experience every year, I end up drinking a lot, and I'm like, damn, I don't feel like going to work. So I'm debating, taking Monday off. If not, then I think my job at work. I think last year what they did for us, they give us late reporting. So I think instead of coming in at 8, they told us to come in at 10. So we got a couple more hours to sleep in. So I think I'll probably if they allow us to do that, then most likely I'll just opt in and do that instead of taking a day off.
Okay, beautiful. So, looking forward to it, man.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this game, dude. I'm excited. But yeah, man. So we can transition over to the next topic. You got my boy. I know you can. I'll let you go ahead and take it. So
yeah. So we got a couple questions here that we're going to get into. Like I said in the introduction, we are going to start a little bit in the motivation realm. So I'm very interested to find out what this word means to you. So yeah, well, I want to hear your thoughts when it comes to the word motivation in terms of goals for people. So
yeah. So I'm giving you my definition, right, of motivation, not the dictionary definition. To me, man, it's like it's motivation is like what drives you, to wake up every day, go to work, put in the work, not just show up to work, put in the work, make that money, trying to aim for that bonus, if your job, if you do get a bonus at work or whatever incentives your job gives you for working hard, because I think most professions there's always an incentive to working hard. So I think for me that's the definition of motivation. It's what drives you. It could be your family, right? It's like you want to make your kids happy, you want to provide for them. That could be your motivation. Maybe you have maybe you look up to your dad, or you look up to a parent that you want to make them proud, so they motivate you every day to grind and do whatever and do what you want, right? And do what you need to do. And it's not always about, motivation is not always about, going to work. It's about, maybe if you're going to school, you gotta be motivated, because we all know going to school, bro, it's not for the, for the week. So it's every day waking up, having to go to class, taking classes or whatever. What motivates you to wake up and go to class? What motivates you to go to the gym? That's something we talk about a lot every day, Harry. We're always texting each other like, hey, what you doing today? Like, back, leg, whatever it may be. For me, it's kind of like, and some days, man, like I'll be sitting in my office and it's like I'm an hour away from leaving. I got to go to the gym. And I'm like, dude, I don't have it in me right now, bro. Like I'm tired. Like I just want to go home. I didn't get much sleep last night. So what is going to motivate me to want to go to the gym? So, I start thinking, I'm like, damn, bro, if I miss the gym today, I might be fat tomorrow. Nah, I can't allow that. So that's my motivation, right? So it just depends what drives you. I think it's subjective. What motivates me doesn't necessarily motivate you. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I just think everybody has their own definition of what gets them going.
And it's interesting. You said that you're an hour from going to the gym, and you're like, wow, I really don't want to go. But I also don't want to get out of shape. So is that your motivation, or is that discipline?
I would say it's a little bit of both, man. Because my biggest thing is like you said, I don't want to get out of shape. Because I'm just very aware of my fitness, and I never want to see myself be that guy, that's overweight, can't fit my clothes. So I think that is what motivates me to go to the gym, to stay in shape at all times, bro. Especially as we get older, that's when we really need to start being in the gym more often, because our metabolism in our youth isn't going to be there forever, dude. So you kind of have to go a little harder, right? But yeah, discipline definitely plays a part into it. I think a lot of things that I do, you need to be disciplined to do it, right? Creating a schedule, that's being disciplined. It's like, okay, hey, my schedule for the week, I'm going to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll take a rest day Thursday, and I'll be back at it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? I think that needs, you need a little bit of discipline to do that. So I think it goes hand in hand, in my opinion.
No, yeah, especially in that situation, because it's your motivating factor. But at the end of the day, you're showing discipline because although you don't want to go, at the end of the day, you're going to go regardless of why you're going. It's about doing those things when you don't want to do them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's so I'm going to ask you now, like, what does motivation mean to you?
Okay, I mean, you have very good points in terms of motivation, and years ago, I was a big believer in motivation, especially because nowadays you see that word thrown around social media, who knows how many times a day, and for me, it's funny because when I threw this into the agenda today, you want to know what movie I thought about and what scene I thought about as soon as I heard of motivation.
What is it?
It's The Wolf of Wall Street. When he's in there talking to what's his name? What's that actor's name?
Jonah Hill?
No, the one that's the big boss at the firm, and he.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, Matthew McConaughey. He's like,
yeah,
it's a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
Yeah.
Fairy dust. It's like that's what I thought of, because in my opinion, you can't rely on motivation. We don't wake up every day motivated. So like I've kind of learned that I think it's best for me to do things even if I don't want to do them, because I know that at the end of the day, these things have to get done regardless of how the fuck I feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just think for long-term goals, motivation is good when you first start off, but that kind of goes away. Motivation is not always going to be there. You got to rely on your consistent habits on a daily basis and just do the things that make you uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Because I think that's the key. I don't think the key to success is motivation. The key to success is being disciplined and making sure you're doing the things that are necessary to get to that goal, right? So that's kind of just how I see it. And yeah, I mean, just like you said, motivation does play a part, but at this point in my life, I just feel like it plays a very simple part because, I did show you that I have like my cardio machine in my living room, right? And although I have that machine in my living room, I could put that machine in a lot of people's living room and they still won't get it done because they wake up every day and they want to do the cardio. But for me, I wake up, I don't want to do it, and I still do it because I know it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think in my opinion, motivation is bullshit. Like I can't rely on that shit on a daily basis. It's nice when you do have it, but what do you do when you don't, type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy too, man, because talking about discipline and whatnot, and which is something I always give you credit for, bro. And we've talked about it in the podcast, is that we make fun of you for eating like a fucking pig. But at the same time, I'm not worried about Harry eating like a fucking pig, bro, because the thing is that Harry can eat whatever he wants today, and tomorrow he could just jump back into a fucking strict ass diet with no hesitation. Which to me, that's like a model of discipline, man. Like whenever somebody tells me like, oh, like if they're really trying to compete and they're trying to compete like seriously, and then they're like, oh, I'm just having a hard time with like eating, and I'm like, dude, like. I'm like, bro, my boy Harry, he just went through it, man. And this guy eats more than anyone I fucking know. Hard. So it's kind of hard to sit there and feel bad for that person when I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want to hear it because this man, like, he'll go, he'll go into Taco Bell and order the whole damn menu, and next day be like, all right, I'm back in the grind. And then six months down the road, my man's competing. He's on stage. So I think to me that's the epitome of discipline, bro. And kind of going back to motivation, bro. When we were talking about starting the podcast, for the longest time, I think we talked about it for a couple of years. What motivated us to finally get it off the ground, get it going? Like, what do you think that was?
I mean, for us, it was just a matter of we've talked about it so much that we kind of just had to stop talking shit and just get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I think I appreciate your initiative that you took in order to make this happen, because in reality, if you would have left that up to me, it probably wouldn't have happened. So, no, I'm glad that you did make that choice. I mean, look, we're four months in now, 16 episodes in. I mean,
episodes, baby. Let's go.
Doing a little consistencies, and
we're just getting started, dog.
Right, exactly. This shit ain't going nowhere, bro. It could be you and me for years to come, and that's all I need. So I mean, you keep it coming, and I'll keep it coming as well. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully speaking, bro, I'm not gonna start looking at numbers or anything like that, analytics, until we're on episode 100. I'll be real with you. Like, that's when I'm really gonna start, looking at things. But I think for now, like the way we're getting this started and we're getting it going. I mean, we're still learning, right? We're still in the learning stages. We're in the infancy stages. There's a couple things here and there, little tweaks that we need to make. We're taking feedback from other people, which we appreciate. Everybody like giving us our feedback. We're very receptive to it. So feel free to hit us up and be like, hey guys, I think you guys should do this or add this on, because there's some things that we don't even know, right? Again, we're just starting. So, I shout out to those people, man, that did, take time out of their day and give us that feedback. But yeah, like Harry said, like we're gonna keep this coming, man. Like, and you know me, Harry, when I want something, bro, I'm after it, bro. That's one thing I think anybody knows who knows me well. If I want something, dog, I'm gonna get that shit. Which brings us back to that to motivation and discipline. Like, if you want something bad enough, bro, you're gonna work your ass off and you're gonna get it. You might get a couple doors closed in your face, and people are gonna tell you no. But guess what? You just gotta keep going, bro. And that's something that we always talk about when we talk about people not being able to find a job for long periods of time. And Harry, you're always the first one to say it. It was like, bro, I don't remember the last time I didn't have a job. Harry, my man Harry, been grinding since I don't know when. He had a job before me, I'm pretty sure. Going back since the high school days. So my man Harry, he's always been on the grind, and it's like, hey, if it ain't working out with this job, I'm gonna find me a job tomorrow. That's just the way he is, and he's just disciplined and motivated. And I think now we've been at our current positions for 7+ years. I know for you has been you've been at the same place for 7 years now or something like that. And I'm going on to 15 to what I'm doing now. So, and yeah, and that takes a lot of discipline too, bro. Doing what I do, that it's not for everyone. That's for sure. So I mean, after 15 years, bro, it's like at this point, you got to stay in it for the long run.
Right.
Yeah, there's no leaving now, but I already know after that, the sky's the limit for us, dude. You already know what's up. So right. And to me, that's another motivator for me. It's looking at the future, looking at 5 years from now with the plans that we spoke about, that we talked about. That motivates me to grind, to do what I do here every day. Push for that retirement, push for the for that pension and everything that comes after, because I'm preparing myself. I'm setting myself up, to be successful after I retire from my current position. So yeah, man. So whatever motivates you, man, use that to your advantage, to get you going.
Yeah. So to kind of conclude that little segment or topic or whatnot. So back to the whole motivation aspect, because you kind of touched on me in prep and, being able to eat as much as anybody, but at the same time lock in when I know it's necessary. Right. Yeah. Do you think I could rely on motivation when I was deep in prep and I was eating sub 2,000 calories a day with an hour and a half of cardio every day? Do you think I could rely on motivation, bro?
Hell no. That's straight discipline,
bro.
That's straight discipline.
It's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to overcome. And the way I see it is kind of, I compare it to like David Goggins. Like, I have read most of his book, and it's about unconquering your mind, being able to override your mind, because your mind is going to tell you, yeah, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this shit. But if you have the discipline to override your mind, you're unbreakable, bro. Nothing can take you away from the goal that you're trying to get to. So that's how I see it. And it was interesting because when I sent you this question, I was like, wow, I'm gonna enjoy this one, because I think people need to know that motivation is just like it. You use it when you first start off, but you can't rely on it once you get deep into whatever you're doing.
Yeah. That's when you got to reach in for that discipline bag, because that motivation might run out. After a couple weeks, couple months, whatever, however how long you can push it for. But then that's when discipline kicks in. Because I'll tell you right now, the discipline that you have to eat the way you ate for prep, I can't do that shit, bro. I just don't have it in me. But that's just one instance, one situation where I don't have the discipline. But for a lot of other things in my life, I have no choice but to be disciplined, right?
Of course.
Being in a position that I've been put in, that's kind of required. And if you want to, if I wanted to keep doing what I was doing, I had to be disciplined. So yeah, man. So there's some really good points, man. And really good examples actually that we spoke about on that one. So appreciate your take on that.
No doubt, my man. So I mean that kind of segues into the next one. It's tied to each other. So this is another good one because I thought about it, and again I was like, wow, this is going to be interesting because our answers are going to be so different, right? So you tell me, man, what's a bigger motivator for you, the fear of failure or the desire for success?
This is a tough one, man. Right off my head, straight off my head, I can say the fear of failure is what is a bigger motivator for me. I think that's a huge factor, just because I don't want to let people down, man. And I think that's just what's instilled in me from a young age. Obviously, going back to school age when I would get a bad grade, and my grandparents raised me, at one point, and my grandpa was very successful. My grandma was as well. They ran their own business, so it's like I always wanted to make him proud. So it's like when I got a bad grade in school, man, I didn't want to, I disappointed them, and seeing how they reacted to that, I think that goes into the fear of failure. And because of that, I've always wanted to be great at everything that I do, and never take anything for granted, and never doing anything half-assed. If I'm assigned a project, if I'm assigned a task, I'm gonna kill that fucking project or task. I'm gonna go all the way in. That's gonna be my priority. So, and just because, again, I don't like to disappoint people, bro. That's just in me, and people could consider and be like, oh, I don't care what people think. But it's like, it's human nature, bro. Like at the end of the day, you can say that as much as you want, but I think deep down we do care what other people think. And that's just embedded in our DNA. That's just who we are as human beings. As society, we're social creatures. So of course we're gonna care what people think, dude. There's a reason why we dress the way we dress. We drive the kind of cars that we drive. We own the houses that we own, because for the most part, it's not always, oh, it's because I like it. It's because, like, no, I want to make somebody proud. I want to show my friends that I've made it. I want, I want to impress a girl, or I want to impress a guy, if it, whatever. So yeah, I think for me, it's the fear of failure that keeps me going, man.
Beautiful. Very good points. Very good points. And bro, those are very good points, but I'm kind of gonna touch up on the other side, because for me, I'm on the other side of that question in terms of, for me, this one's easy. I think for me, it's the desire of success, simply because I don't fear failure. Failure is what's gotten me here in the first place. I've failed time and time again, and what happened after each and every failure, every time I failed has been a valuable lesson. It's improved my skills. It's enhanced my decision making. It's shown me what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So every time I failed, I've come back better. I mean, I think I'm a testament to that. To just recently, I've finally been promoted to that supervisor position, right? And we were talking about how third time was the charm. The first interview completely bombed it, right? I was very upset about it. I asked for feedback. I came back the second time. I got a little how do I say that? I got a little
nervous.
No, I did get nervous, but I got better at my interviewing skills, and I got to to a point where I did get a second interview, but either way, I still didn't get it. So although I failed there, at least I came that much closer than the first time, correct?
Yeah,
And again,
absolutely.
failed the second time, got my feedback again, and went back to the drawing board and checked off all the things that were mistakes and whatnot, and just didn't make those same mistakes, right? Trial and failure is a big thing. And as long as you're kind of learning from your mistakes, then fail as many times as you need to fail to get to success, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I see it. And I think in terms of fear of failure, because you have very good reasons for using that as a motivator. But I think when we are talking more in generality terms, I think the fear of failing is why people don't go for their goals in the first place. Does that make sense?
No, that's 100% correct. I agree with you on that one, bro.
Right. I think for them, they fear failure because they have to go in a state of discomfort, right? They got to take risks.
You got to be uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable.
Right. They're just not willing to put themselves in a state of uncertainty or vulnerability. And because of that, they don't do what they truly want to do. And that's where that quote comes from. The quote in which people die at 25 but are buried at 75. That's because people give up on their goals very early in life, and for the rest of their lives they're just working for somebody making their goals come true. So I think that's what it stems from, is the fear of failure. They just don't want to fail because it takes a hit to their self-esteem, their confidence, and that's necessary. And for me, people are fear of failing, and they choose not to go for their goals because they're so complacent in life. And that just can't be me, man. I can't live a life of mediocrity. It has never been me, and it never will be me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think fear of failure and the fear of rejection, that's another factor that goes into people, being staying stagnant at a position or at a job or whatever they're doing, because they're just afraid to make a change. And again, change is another one. People are afraid of change sometimes, dude, because again, they get comfortable where they're at. They're like, I'm making enough money, I'm comfortable. I just don't want to, put myself in an uncomfortable situation. And so I think like you alluded to it too, bro. Like that's a big one. And speaking of going for your third interview and for your third interview, basically, and you finally getting the job, that's because you're resilient, dude. And
I put it on my chest for a reason, brother.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. It's you're a resilient motherfucker, dog. And that's what got you to where you're at right now. You kept pushing because I'll be real with everybody right now, bro. Like whenever you told me that they passed you up in the second time, I was like, man, get the fuck out of there. Like go look for something else, because if they don't value you, then you need to go somewhere else, somewhere that is going to value you, right? But you decided, you're like, nah, I'm gonna stay put. I'm gonna show them what the fuck this is, and I'm gonna get that job. And obviously, bro, it took a little bit of time, but that's fine. That's okay, and nothing happens overnight. Rome was built in one day. You were patient with the process. You trusted the process. And yeah, bro, and look where you are now. So, and even for me, man, like I can't sit here and preach and be like, oh, be patient, because I find myself being impatient as fuck sometimes, right? If I want something and I'm like, damn, I need to know like now. And it's like, nah, bro, you can't. Like you got to sit still. You gotta, like they say in the military, bro. You just gotta fucking stand by to stand by. So it's just one of those things where you can't rush it. So yeah, man. So I mean, I think those are really great answers on your end. But for sure. So again, congrats on that position, bro. I know you're going through the training right now, but shit, you got it, bro. Like all good.
Appreciate it. And yeah, and for me, man, it's I had those thoughts, right? When we were having that conversation and you told me, man, they don't really value you. You've been there forever. You've put in the time, you've put in the work, you've showed them that you're capable of doing this and that, and they're not willing to take a shot on you, right? Yeah. And I thought about, saying F it and applying out, right? But there's something about when somebody tells me no, that fires me up, right?
You want to prove him wrong. You want to prove him wrong.
Exactly. And when you tell me no, I'll tell you, watch me, because I'm going to show you that I could do it. It comes back to what you said, is when I want something, I'll go get it, regardless of what it takes. I understand that there's sacrifices to be made, and I'm willing to take those sacrifices. So that's what it comes down to. And I know a lot of people aren't willing to do that. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart from the masses, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No doubt, dude. No doubt. But yeah, I think again, it's just one of those things where Harry, where it's brought up in your childhood, bro. It's instilled in you at a young age. I think because of who your parents are, bro, is who they made you who you are today. Not everybody has those kind of parents, which is it's important, bro. If you have kids, that you need to tell your kids, like, hey, man, people are gonna tell you no all your life. Like, that's not gonna change. Like, you're not always gonna get shit your way. However, you got to keep grinding, bro. You got to keep going. You got to be resilient. I'm gonna keep using that word, resilient. You got to be resilient, bro, because you will get disappointed. You will be let down. People will shut the door on you. Like, they're not. It's not always gonna be yes. So it's all about how are you gonna bounce back from that no, right? Take that no, use that as motivation to fucking do what you need to go do and put yourself in a better position, bro. That's all it is. Again, I know easier said than done. We can sit here and preach all day because I've been in a situation where I was told no, and it felt like it was the end of the world for me, right? But obviously, I picked myself up, a few minutes, I was sad for a bit, and then fucking, snap back into reality. Be like, fuck it, bro. This ain't gonna stop me. There's other opportunities out there. This ain't the first, and this ain't the last. So, get back and start looking at other opportunities out there, man. Eventually someone will see you for who you are. They will see your value, and they will bring you in to wherever you're trying to go. So
beautifully said. I do want to conclude with something you said. You said change, right? People are afraid of change, and of course that makes perfect sense, and it's 100% facts. And I think people don't like change because with change comes people lack the ability to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And those are three words right there that I live by, because things, especially in my field, in Medicare, things change on a daily basis. So you got to be able to do those three things, because if not, you're not gonna be successful. And I think when it comes to the whole change aspect, is people don't want to go through that vulnerability when it comes to improvising, adapting, and overcoming and all that, because they're already, like you said, in a state of complacency. They're very comfortable. So why bring on change? It makes no sense to them. But it's important. It's important to, stay uncomfortable and stay hungry, because, I always want more. I don't know about you. I'm very grateful for where I've gotten to, but I just want more. There's a ton of shit that I still want to get done in this lifetime, and I refuse to let my life kind of ride by without me succeeding when it comes to the things I want to do.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement, right? So you can't sit here and be like, I've made it, I'm great at everything I do. That's not true, because you can always improve, right? And you can always improve at your craft. You can always improve at being a better father, better husband, boyfriend, fucking brother, whatever it may be, man. There's always room for improvement. Can't be complacent, and like you said, don't ever get comfortable, bro. So just always find that thing inside of you that makes you grind a little bit better, a little bit more, and move forward a little bit in life, right? So that's kind of my 2 cents, and I'll conclude it with that.
Yeah, and by the way, the whole thing about how you've been brought up, it's funny because you grow up, and your parents, or my parents, tells you to do this, clean your room, do that, make your bed, and at the time you don't realize how big of a difference that makes, right? And now, fast forward 20, 30 years, whatever the hell it may be at this point. I'm already forgetting my age, bro. But I understand why my mom made me do all those things as a child, instead of, just doing it herself. It instills certain characteristics that kind of lead to later in life that make you who you are. And when it comes to habits and doing what you need to do. So that was very, very well said of you, because I don't know what I would do without my mom, because I can't say much about her. You already know the deal. I got the best parents in the world, so I'll leave it.
No doubt. Shout out to mom and dad, man. Shout out.
Absolutely. But I mean, yeah, the last one for the day is all yours, my man. So you can take the stage on that one.
Yeah, man. Harry, bro, like we grew up in a generation where, mental health wasn't ever talked about, bro. Like, I don't know if you remember, but like whenever you had a family member that had mental health issues, you look back at it now and you're like, yeah, that person was, they had issues, bro. But when you're growing up, the rest of your family members are like, no, this motherfucker's just crazy. Like, the fuck? What's mental health?
That's what they like to characterize it as, when in reality they're ill.
Yeah. What the hell did they have to complain about? Like, they're fine, stuff like that, man. And I grew up around a Haitian family, a Caribbean family. And if you know anything about a Caribbean family, or even Hispanic culture, right? Mental health is not real for them, right? For them, it's about get your ass up, go to fucking work, do what you need to do, and that's it, right? You're not allowed to feel bad for yourself. You're not allowed to have thoughts and feelings. And that's just always been a thing, for as long as I've grown up, man. And I know you can relate to that as well. But now, being in this culture, and growing up in this generation now, and seeing these kids come up now, mental health is a big topic, especially men's mental health, bro. And which is something that is still not being talked about enough, because a lot of people in our society, men can't have feelings. Men can't talk about what the hell is going on in their mind, right? We're supposed to provide. We're supposed to secure. We're supposed to do all this stuff, man. Be big manly men, and never have issues, never have problems, right? Which, again, for the longest time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was part of that group that was like, yeah, fucking men can't have issues, they can't have mental health, until I started struggling myself with mental health, man. Until I started finding myself, in my head, can't sleep, overthinking things, and these are things, obviously, now that I'm old enough to realize that these are things that have been going on for a long time in my life, and I just refuse to acknowledge it. I just kind of put it to the side and buried it deep in my mind. And now, after a while, bro, that shit is just gonna is gonna come out one way or another, right? But it's up to us to kind of figure out, how are we gonna deal with it. So obviously, man, it's a tough topic, to talk on. But I feel like I'm secure enough to talk about it, and seeing now, like, that shit is real, bro. I think I've a lot of things now. Again, as I've gotten older, I've accepted, and I've now finally found myself in a point where I'm like, you know what, like, I do need to go talk to someone. Like, I think it will be good for me, not just for me, but it will be good for people around me. Just because, there are certain behaviors, that I've put out, that I realize it's because I'm dealing with things internally that I've refused to acknowledge in the past. And now that I've seen it and I can admit it, then that's the only way you can really improve from it. And that's something I can admit, bro. So for me, men's mental health is huge, bro. I've decided, finally I am gonna reach out for help, seek some therapy. And I think it's only gonna be better for me, man. So yeah, bro. So that's something, obviously, like I haven't really talked about much besides between us. So it's like, but now it's like I'm at the point where it's like, dude, like, it is what it is, man. That's just the reality of it. And again, growing up in a generation where that it was not acceptable to talk about shit like that, right? And I'm guilty of that, because I was part of that, saying that, nah, that's not a fucking real thing. Like, what the fuck do you have to complain about? right? But yeah, man, it's real. I think it's necessary for people to get help and get the necessary help, and get better. So
Beautifully said. So you were actually talking about seeking therapy in terms of like actual professional help, or you're leaning more to people that that you have confidence in?
I think both, man. Obviously, like we've talked a bit. We've had some conversations. But I think I'm getting to the point where it's going to be professional. I'm going to seek professional help because I mean, if it's there for me, bro, like if they can provide if they provide that if my job provides that for me, then I'll take advantage of it. Why not? It doesn't hurt.
Of course not.
If I feel like it doesn't help after the first couple of sessions, then okay, cool. Like, I can't say I never even tried, right?
Right.
So yeah, so I think I think the first step is acknowledging that you do need help, and you should seek that help. So
And there's no way it's not going to help. I think just having that one person who kind of doesn't know you like that, like hasn't been in your life forever to knows where like your whole life story, like just having that person just to kind of lean on and hear you out does a lot. Like, because you will feel better at the end of that session. I know I haven't personally done it. I've thought about it. Most recent, I have spoke to you about, not too recent now, but I was struggling with our good friend's death and
yeah,
whatnot. I don't want to say any names here, but this is something that I spoke to Sam initially as well, that I was struggling, and I think it was because it was a little too new at the time. I didn't give myself enough time to cope, and like I found myself in a state in which I kind of thought about it a little too much, and at one point I kind of caught myself just kind of staring at the ceiling in the dark, like trying to sleep type thing, right? And my mind just kind of just getting the best of me, and I thought that I would need professional help, and I was about to seek it. Unfortunately, I didn't go through with it, and I am doing tons better now. I'm not really going through that as much, but there is times where I think about it now, and I'm just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll never see him again type thing, and kind of get in my feelings. But for me, in the past, it's been more of my relationships. I've been in certain situations to where, kind of when I was younger, I refused to tell my significant other what exactly is going on, in terms of kind of like putting my foot down, like, and kind of being walked all over, instead of kind of letting them know what's on my mind. And I'd let it just kind of sit inside of me and boggle up, and it just kept eating me alive. And that's just not a way to
healthy.
cope
Yeah.
with mental health, because that just makes things worse. And now I'm to the point where, if I'm going through something, you'll be the first person to know, if not Sam, um, because I have that confidence in you. And as far as I'm concerned, I have no question on whether or not you're going to judge me. Like, I tell you how it is, regardless of the situation, and just kind of seek your advice, because we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
So I thank you for that, and always being there for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, likewise, right? Which is why I'm able to confide in you for a lot of things. And obviously, like, our boys as well. I think most of our boys, if not all, I think they're all people that we can always lean on, right? And if we ever need the help. But yeah, like you kind of commented on it, man. After our good friend passed, I know you were struggling, you were going through it, man. The best way I can put it is our mind becomes a damn battlefield, man, and we're constantly fighting, you know, in there, and we have I feel like we have no outlet, right? When we're not talking to someone, or you can't confide in someone about that, like there's no outlet, and you're fighting that battle on your own, and that shit sucks, man, because we had a conversation today, and dude, like, shit's been weighing on me for so long, that it just got to the point where it was just about to blow up, and I just couldn't do it no more, and I just had to talk to someone, and obviously you're the first one. I was like, bro, Like, let me just lay it out for you, bro. This is what it is, yada yada, and you know, I told you about it, and obviously, you know, made me feel 10 times better, dude. So obviously, I think everybody needs that person that they can you know confide in, and they can lean on. You know, if they can't, you know, afford professional help, or if they cannot get to a professional, to kind of seek that. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. That I think it's important. After years of, you know, being a naysayer, and denying it, that it was real. You know, now I'm finally come to the point where I'm like, yeah, I was dead wrong. I was 100% wrong until it happened to me, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, like what do I do now?
Yeah, and that's why at the time, like you have those thoughts in which oh, it's kind of bullshit because you just can't relate, right? So until it happens to you, you can't really see that other side in which other people are feeling. So
Yeah,
now you know. I mean, that's what it takes is experience it in the first place. So that makes 100% sense, bro.
yeah, absolutely, man. Like, yeah, that's it. It's just it doesn't matter what you're going through, man. Like, that stuff weighs on you, and again, it's tough because as men, you know, we're not expected, you know, to talk about our issues, and talk about our feelings, and you know what bothers us. We're just supposed to deal with it, right?
Right.
That's what that's just what's expected of us. And I think that needs to change, man. I really do. As men, maybe we need to come together. Maybe a lot of men don't want to open up to their significant other because, you know, and fear of reprisal. You know, so I get it. You know, but if you can find, you know, one of your boys, you know, your brother, whatever, whoever it may be, someone that you can talk to, you know, I highly suggest it, man. I definitely do. Definitely, like I said, it helped me out tremendously. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm honestly not going to fault those who refuse, especially men, to refuse to talk to their significant other about that because you're kind of, and this is not all situations obviously, but you don't want to put all your problems on your significant other because you're in a state in which you're supposed to be that masculine man and provide and you know you should be able to kind of overcome all these things without having to put those problems on your girlfriend or whatever the case may be. So like you said, man, just speak to one of your homeboys, who chances are they can relate in some way, shape, or form, right? So I mean, I don't fault them at all. You don't need to speak to your significant other if you're not comfortable doing so. I mean, I think in this society, more times than no, it's probably best you don't because you
Yeah.
know how women tend to see men these days when it comes to those type of things. And again, not everybody, but you know, there's a good majority in which you know you start telling them these type of things, then they're out of that door real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need to get professional help, go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think in my situation, if I were to go get professional help, it would definitely be a man for sure, because I just think he's more tailor made to seeing what I'm going through and giving me steps in order to overcome that. Because I just like I said, they can relate to it in one way, shape, or form in terms of the male experience.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, dude. I agree. Man, like you said, it's not all women that you got to feel like you can't, you know, talk your feelings to. You just got to be careful who you speak to, you know, who you talk to, and you got to be careful who that person is. You better know for a fact that that person's not going to throw that shit back in your face, right? But typically, it's recommended that men do not express their feelings, and do not you know, show emotion to their girls, or you know, or to their wives. But you know, for obvious reasons, and I think most men understand that. But you know, there are some women out there that will stick by your side regardless of what you show them, and you know, you could be vulnerable with them, and they'll still respect you. It's just that we're talking about in general. That's typically not how that goes. Um, but yeah, so I think also, Harry, something that I didn't mention earlier, man. A lot of this stuff that we deal with as adults, man. It's childhood traumas, man, that we don't even realize, you know, are there, until it kind of like rears its ugly head, basically. Um, you don't realize it until it's basically too late, and you're like, damn, I didn't know I was struggling with this until now.
Right.
And it kind of hits you hard.
Because you've kind of been shrugging it off for so long because you thought it was nothing.
Yeah, you just kept burying it, bro. You bury and bury and bury until finally, bro, like, it's got to come up eventually. And when that eventually comes, it's scary because you don't know how to deal with it. Especially if you're not used to it and you haven't been used to it your entire life, and then now you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, completely blindsided, bro.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So yeah, man. So again, this is my personal experience, man. This is something that I've never even talked about out, to the world or in public. So it's yeah, man. I'm being super vulnerable right now and talking about this, but I also think it's necessary for men out there, to know that there is help out there, and if you need it, go get it for sure.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, I just to kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, in the past I've struggled with kind of getting to an age to where we've been at a high school long enough, and you kind of look at all those years that have passed by, and you're like, wow, I haven't done shit with my life, and we've been out for 10 years now, right? Or whatever the case may be.
14, dude, 14.
No. But I'm saying when like I was kind of going through these things.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like, you're on social media and you see everybody kind of achieving this, a new job, or just very successful, and then maybe you're not too far ahead in life in terms of where you want to be, so you kind of take that in a certain way into which, wow, you're a failure type thing. You start comparing yourself. And a lot of the things that I thought about when I was younger stemmed from that. Like, I'm like, damn, like all these people are doing this, but I'm here stagnant in life. What the fuck am I doing with my life? You know what I'm saying? And I think it got to a point where I know changes needed to be made. I mean, I love you guys like family. Obviously, you guys are family, but in order for me to move forward in my life, I needed to get the hell out of Pembroke Pines. So that's exactly what I did. That was the start of me not being a fucking bum, if I'm being completely honest, because I was fucking around for the longest until maybe I was like 25, 26. Mm-hmm. And what people don't realize is that all those years go by quick and you can't get that shit back. You know what I'm saying? You always make changes to be better, but once that time passes, that's it. Like, time doesn't wait on nobody, and that's what people need to realize, because it's tough, and you can find yourself in a situation to where you're 80 and you haven't done shit in life. You've lived a life of mediocrity, and that's that in itself will put you in a black hole, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Like you, I think in your situation, leaving Pembroke Pines was absolutely necessary, bro. I think you were just kind of like it was almost like you were like in a prison, bro. Like there was no room to grow anymore, right? because like there just wasn't. So you had to get out of there in order to become who you are today. And shout out to you for that, man. Because for me, I've been left since after high school, so it's like I can't relate to where you're coming from, but obviously I can understand what you were going through. Which is why I'm happy, bro. Like, I did what I did in a way, because in a sense, because
you couldn't have made a better choice for yourself, bro.
Oh yeah, because in a sense, I know, bro, for a fact, if I would have stayed, I wouldn't be half as successful as I am today. I wouldn't have the stuff that I have today. Like the strides in life that I made, bro. Like, I don't think I know for a fact I couldn't. I wouldn't have done it. So I think, again, it was absolutely necessary for me to do what I did. And I'm grateful for that decision, man. And all those people that kind of pushed me to do that. So big shout out to them for that. Because now it's like, dude, we're at the finish line. I mean, I'm at the finish line. Basically, it's coming. We're coming full circle. Now I'm like, damn. Like, just when I thought I started this, it's about to be over. That chapter in my life.
You're at the finish line for one journey, but we just getting started, Bobby.
I know, right? It's just that chapter in my life is about to close, but I know for sure that next chapter is gonna be crazy. Like that. Yeah. But it's like, but it's like what I did. Leaving Pines was a stepping stone to my my life, bro. Like to become better in my life. So
Completely necessary.
oh, for
And
sure.
for me, just to kind of give the audience some backstory, is me and Kareem are part of a group of friends. There's like what 10, 12 of us maybe. We've all been together since high school, right? And most of us once upon a time lived in the same neighborhood within doors of each other. So with that said and done, I was the type of person that was very easily influenced. So whatever my boys were doing is what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I'd go to work, and then as soon as I got out of work, it would be with my boys from whatever time I get out of work till freaking late hours, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And what the fuck am I actually doing in order to further my life by doing that? You know what I'm saying? And, I realized that a little later than I wanted to, but it's better late than never. So I was grateful that I made those decisions that I made, and here I am now. And just to kind of make it clear, I have no problem talking to my girlfriend about my vulnerabilities. I have full confidence in Sam. I know damn well she ain't going nowhere regardless of what I tell her. So I just kind of want to make sure that the audience knows that and kind of takes what I said with a grain of salt, because I have no problem talking to my girl about that shit. I know she will actually help me in all the necessary things that I need her to do. So I'm grateful for that, because very, very little amounts of men can say that. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you just gotta be selective on who you decide to talk to. If you decide if you want to open up to your girl, man, just make sure that she's ready for that, because a lot of women are not ready for that, right?
Yeah,
so
I guess if you have any doubt whatsoever, do not speak to her about it.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. So if the relationship ain't strong enough, man, that might not be it.
You'll know
for sure, 100%. I agree, but yeah, man. So like I'm glad you kind of talked about you like kind of getting out of Pines and kind of like spreading your wings a little bit and growing in your career. Because bro, when did you move to Tampa and you went to get your degree? After how many years? Like you finally got your degree?
I graduated 2009. I didn't get my bachelor's till 2020, bro.
Okay, so yeah, so that just goes to show you, bro. And there's obviously no knock on you for that, bro. It don't matter. There's no certain timeline where you have to achieve certain things. The fact is that you went and did it, bro. Like, yeah, you might have had a few years in between where you're like, you were doing things with the boys and but at the end of the day, bro, you realize you're like, all right, this ain't for me. I need to make a change. It's time for a move. And you did it, and that's what's important, bro. So
execution.
Yeah, just shout out for you for that, for doing that. So I think a lot of people are still working on getting to that next step.
Right.
It's the person that they want to be. And obviously we're not knocking nobody for being where they are. I think there are circumstances in life and there are factors in life that slow down your progress, right? And those are things that we can't always control.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that nobody feels some type of way by us saying, like that Harry left Pines and kind of spread his wings, and that time is going to come for you too. And it just goes back to, how bad do you want it? Don't get comfortable. Don't get complacent. And you can achieve those goals, man. Like, just got to make the right decisions and be disciplined.
100%. Well said. I personally don't have anything else to say. I think I've rambled enough today. I mean, look at us. We're a 2-man wrecking crew today, and we only have 4 questions, and we're still fucking hour and 10 minutes long. So I'm gonna let you take us home, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think we talked about a lot of good things, man. A lot of great stuff. I enjoyed today, man. I enjoyed talking to you. I know obviously we were texting earlier today, but I think now obviously talking 1-on-1 and seeing you, it's a little different, bro. So I appreciate you hearing me out, dog. As always, and obviously we'll have some more conversations, man. We talk every day, so we'll definitely have some more conversations, man. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all watching. I think today's episode is a special one. We're not talking about the usual things that we talk about. I think it was a necessary change for today. And I'm glad we spoke about the things that we spoke about. So with that being said, man, like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate y'all being here. And if you're coming back for another episode, thank you for being a supporter of us. And as always, peace, love, and happiness to everybody out there. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.